CBS Sports presents the Geico Play of the Day.
On a balmy December day in Chicago, the 49ers' Bradley Pinion punts the Bears' rookie Tariq Cohen. He runs to his right to avoid Aldrich Robinson. Whoa, 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 whoa. And a host of 49ers turns back quickly to his left, heads straight to pay dirt for what is officially a 61-yard TD, but in reality, it looked like a mile.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Where Garoppolo and the Niners win it 15-14. Let's go to James Brown in New York.
All right, so we're going to take you to the contest. Kansas City at the New York Jets, 31-30. Kansas City nursing a 1-point lead, 7:42 left in regulation. Let's join the announcers, Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, and Evan Washburn.
And the hole closed up quickly. Hello again. Bonus coverage is coming up. We send you now to James Brown in New York.
All right, Jim, 14 straight road wins now for the Patriots there. 23-3 winners over Buffalo. We take you now to the Kansas City at New York Jets game. Kansas City holding to a 1-point lead over the Jets. 2:33 left in regulation. Let's join the announcers, Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, and Evan Washburn.
Drive alive. Season over the Colts. Now time for the State Farm post-game show. Let's go to James Brown in our CBS studios in New York.
All right, Kevin, Jacksonville in the 5th seed spot right now in the postseason, the wild card spot with that 30-10 win over Indianapolis. We take you now to a game between Houston at Tennessee. Houston right now trailing by 4, 17-13 to Tennessee, 4:37 left in regulation. Let's join the announcers there, Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Jamie Erdahl.
Point game, so obviously a field goal.
This is the State Farm Post-Game Show.
And welcome back inside Studio 43 and the State Farm Post-Game Show. I'm James Brown alongside Coach Nate Boomer and Phil. Folks, as we get you caught up on the highlights, let's take it away, Boom.
All right, the New England Patriots guys are going to get to 10-2 right here. Tom Brady's going to chew up, spit out. Josh McDaniels on the sideline right there. He and the offensive coordinator getting into it because Tom Brady missed a wide-open receiver. Well, you like to be coached, right? How about Rex Burkhead? What a day he had. That's going to be a 14-yard TD score, 23-3 New England. Tyrod Taylor actually sustained a knee injury in this game. He left the game on a cart. New England now goes to 10-2. Tom Brady, 21 of 30. Had a decent game, not a great game. Did throw an interception, no touchdown passes. Next Monday night, the New England Patriots will travel to Miami.
And, of course, Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels will go out for a lemonade right after the game.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I'm sure, Jim.
After the game, it was Tracy Wolfson talking with Rex Burkhead.
Rex, the success of this team today, especially in that second half, was certainly the run game. What can you say about what was discussed at halftime when you guys came back out and were able to put some drives together?
Yeah, just needed to be more physical. The offensive line, they did a tremendous job up front. Really opened up some holes for Dion and I and James as well. So just trying to take advantage of those opportunities when the plays were there.
You mentioned it. You, Dion, James, it's another guy every week. What is it about this running back room that's so successful?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to be a part of. We got a great group of guys, both on and off the field, and we love competing. We love playing for each other out there, and it's a joy whenever we see each other do well.
Appreciate the time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Kansas City Chiefs, they got that, all they wanted from Alex Smith. He had 4 touchdown passes on the day, 2 of them to Tyreek Hill, this one from 40 yards out. But the story of the day was a 38-year-old Josh McCown. You see him right here taking this touchdown over. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, 331 yards passing. Jermaine Kearse, Robbie Anderson, both over 100 yards. This was a big-time win for the Jets, and the Chiefs now have lost 6 of their last 7 games.
And after the game, it was Evan Washburn with Josh McCown.
Well, Josh, this game had a little bit of everything, including a chance in the fourth quarter for a team to try and grab another win from you guys. What do you think separated this one?
Well, I think we stood up this time, you know, and we didn't back down. The O-line, the line of scrimmage on both sides, we fought, we kept fighting, and we extended drives, and we didn't let one play bother us or a negative play, but we were overcome. You know, if they scored, they got a big play. We stopped, hopped back out there and got another touchdown. So it's a hats off to our guys just being resilient, and that's what we talked about and finally getting it done.
You had some unbelievably long drives in this game. Was that the plan going in, that you wanted to try and dominate time of possession?
Yeah, I think you have to against this group. You see how easily they score. I mean, score quickly because they've got playmakers. And so you got to keep the ball out of Alex's hand and keep Tyreek off the field, because those guys are big play guys. So for us, yeah, we wanted to dominate the line of scrimmage. The 5 up front did an unbelievable job of executing the game plan. The 3 runners did a great job. And then when we had to make plays in the passing game, we did, and that was critical.
Can this team make a run?
Absolutely. Got our shoes on.
All right, Josh, congrats.
Thank you.
So, Coach, you couldn't have asked for more from Kansas City in terms of being efficient, but the D didn't get the job.
Oh, they did. I mean, you talk about all the issue, all the focus was on the offense. They came out and played today, but this defense was really, really bad. Sit there and they gave up 13 conversions on 3rd down.
Wow.
2-1 in time of possession, almost 3-1, 42 minutes to 17. So this is a total domination by the Jets, particularly on the offensive side of the ball.
No question about it, Coach. And we'd like to welcome those of you who are watching that Houston at Tennessee game. It was the Tennessee Titans. Right now, with 25 seconds left in regulation, Tennessee on top, 24-13 in that one there. Back here inside of Studio 43, full house as we talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. I know early season, all you said is, Alex Smith, let it go. He did.
Yeah, all right. Well, it's not about Alex Smith today. It's more about Marcus Peters and the defense of the Kansas City Chiefs. Marcus Peters actually picked up a penalty flag and threw it into the stands and then walked himself off to the field into the locker room. He was not ejected or told to leave the field. He did it on his own, and then he came back later on, no socks, and starts arguing with the fans. This team is falling apart is basically what's happening. It looked like a dead team walking. We were talking about it this morning. You and I both picked the Jets to win this football game. But I'm glad for Alex Smith, because Alex Smith played hard today. He played the way that he played earlier in the season, so he's got it in him to do it. But their defense is falling apart.
And I know one man doesn't determine how well a team plays, but one man can help a team become more disciplined. And Eric Berry being gone, you can only imagine if Eric Berry is out on the field. That doesn't happen. I mean, absolutely idiotic. But back to the offense, we talked about it. Kansas City, they got to go down the field. They got to take some shots, and they did that. Early, they reminded us of the team that they were early on in the year. And just when we thought the Jets were going to remind us of that team that faltered at the end of every game, they tied it together. And Josh McCown, if you're not familiar with this story, you don't respect this man as a leader, he has brought everything to this squad, and they are following his lead.
Yeah, look, the Kansas City Chiefs defense, let's just admit it, it's not very good. And it's been consistently not good all year long. They got one cover guy, so they play a lot of man-to-man coverage. What do you expect? They bring in Benny Logan to help stop the run, and they're terrible against the run. And, put a little more on it, they don't rush the passer real well either. And we saw that today. You talked about it. There's Robbie Anderson, Jermaine Kearse having such big days, and Josh McCown was terrific.
And you know what, you talk about it, Phil, too. One thing you're seeing about this, all this is on 3rd down. Then you see this. Look at the tackling, or I should say lack thereof. You saw all the run after catch, and again, you saw a lack of a team that didn't have the passion on that side of the ball. Bob Sutton is a veteran coach. There has to be some changes that need to be made. You look at this team, 488 yards, and they sat there in the 2 times or 42 minutes of possession for the New York Jets, a defense that has been reeling, and a football team that has lost 6 out of 7 games right now. And right now, if the San Diego or LA Chargers can win this game, they may find themselves tied for first place.
When you say tackling, and it's not great tackling, you would know better than me, but it always comes out, teams that don't tackle well usually don't have a lot of speed. And I think when you look at the Kansas City defense, it does lack speed.
This is the first big break of the day when you talk about playoff seedings and things that, could happen. First, you see Marcus Peters right here. Pick up the flag, throw it into the stands. I know he's frustrated and upset.
Wow.
You cannot do that. And then he walks off the field and then came back later on. But when you take a look at the playoffs and you talk about seeding and things of that nature, Tennessee held tough. They came back and they beat Houston. And of course, you also know Jacksonville won, so you can see that as well. The Patriots win, and you'll see it here. This is a break, and who's the break for? The break is for everybody else that is in the hunt. Now, I wouldn't say that for Buffalo because they lost today, but Cincinnati plays Pittsburgh on Monday night. That is a huge game for them. The Chargers are playing right now. The Raiders are playing right now against the Giants. So those 2 teams right there are still very much in the hunt to win
the division. Yes, absolutely. Remember, and the LA Chargers play both Kansas City and Oakland yet. Furthermore, in weeks 15 and 17. So, again, the AFC West is going to be determined in the month of December. And with you, based on how these teams are playing right now.
That's it.
The LA Chargers have won 5 out of 7 games. The LA Chargers are playing with defense, are playing with passion, and an offense that's been very efficient. We talked about that earlier in our show, and you're talking about an Oakland team that really has been up and down, and certainly we saw what we see with the Kansas City Chiefs today, and that's not very good.
Coach, when I played, and I would look in the mirror, metaphorically, as my squad was getting ready for December, the direct reflection is exactly who we are. And you're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs. Too many flaws right now for me to say they can fix things, right the ship. Even though they look good on offense, that defense is giving up way too much. And the umbrella of that defense is where any team can go and attack. I mean, you got to give the Jets offense credit. But right now, they don't look like a playoff team.
That's one break that happened today for other teams. The other break is the fact that Atlanta lost at home to Minnesota. That is a huge break for the NFC side of the slate.
So we'd like to welcome those of you who were watching the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee comes away winning that one 24-13, improving to 8-4, as you were talking about that.
Well, I was just saying, like, you know, so each week now as we get here late in the season, there's going to be that one team. If they lose, they're going to be opening the door for a lot of other teams. And the team that lost today was Kansas City. So now you're looking at all these other teams that are in the hunt, including, obviously, the LA Chargers and the Oakland Raiders. On the other side of the slate, the fact that Atlanta lost, excuse me, now all of a sudden that game between Seattle and Philadelphia is huge for Seattle. If they can win that game tonight, that gives them a much better chance of making it as a wild card.
Okay, we've got an instant update about that up and down team that Bill was talking about, that being the Oakland Raiders.
Well, Marshawn Lynch against the New York Giants, how they're going to play today after the Eli Manning publicity nightmare. Marshawn Lynch goes 51 yards to put the Raiders, another team that's in that hunt, up 7-0, and the Cleveland LA Chargers 0-0 in the second quarter.
All right, how about Alvin Kamara for the Saints right here, 2-yard run against the Panthers. You talk about the NFC South. Out of the 20 games in the last 5 weeks of the season, 14 of those games are going to be played within the division. The last 2 weeks, this is the only division where every game is played within the division. So a huge start there for the New Orleans Saints.
And I think you look at Alvin Kamara, I would say that he had to be the leader right now, in my opinion.
There you go.
Rookie of the year. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
All right,
defensive Rookie of the Year can be on
the other side of Lattimore. Take a look at this here. So Philadelphia obviously is going to play Seattle tonight. Minnesota wins. They're tightening their grip on the NFC North. The big win today for me is Green Bay. Green Bay wins. They come back and they win in overtime against Tampa Bay. Next week, they go to Cleveland. If they can beat Cleveland, they'll get the 7-6. And then guess who comes back for the last 3 games of the season? Who? That would be Aaron Rodgers.
I think that one point you've made, Boone, because you got Carolina, New Orleans, and Atlanta. They're all playing themselves in this month of December. So, you know, somebody's going to be going down to those standings, which is why you're talking about Green Bay opening it up for them.
And Dallas.
You know what I love about those instant updates? Those are running backs right there. You're talking about beast mode, Alvin Kamara. That's what I want you to pay attention to. As the weather gets colder, they start playing these outdoor stadiums. Who can run the rock and play defense right now in December?
You know, they are playing inside. How excited you guys are about it. Get into the thick of things.
That game's inside New Orleans, though, Nate.
More to come on the State Farm postgame show after this.
This is the State Farm postgame show.
With my guy, Bill Cowher. I'm loving it. You're keeping me smiling, too. As we welcome you back to Studio 43 and the State Farm postgame show, and right back to the highlights we go.
Here we go. Texans at the Tennessee. Titans QB Marcus Mariota finds Delaney Walker for a 24-yard touchdown run, 17-10, Tennessee. Then, one play after converting a 4th and 19, Tom Savage throws an interception in the end zone. LaShawn Sims gets it. The Titans celebrate with a layup line. Here we go. There we go. Not bad.
You play basketball.
It's football. I scored 25 a game. But
hey, it used to be all about Boomer, huh? Look at him.
You asked me.
Hey, after the game, folks, it was our Jamie Erdahl who caught up with Marcus Mariota. Don't twist.
Marcus, this Texans team looked vastly different than the one you saw earlier this season, but they still challenged you today. What was the difference maker in the end?
Well, you know what? Just a lot of credit to the guys. Defense played well all day, gave us an opportunity to kind of close it out at the end, and offensive line did unbelievable. And when you got backs like that can run the football, it makes it a whole lot easier.
Before that long run by Derrick Henry, the pass and the rush yards were pretty balanced in this offense in this game. How important is that moving forward in terms of game planning and making sure you end up on top? Very important. If we're balanced, if we're able to run the football the way that we want and play action, do those things, we can do a lot of different things and make it tough on defense. Is there a reason why Jacksonville's score isn't up in the stadium during games like this? Are you trying to keep an eye on that down the stretch to make sure Derrick Henry gets there in the end? Honestly, not even paying attention to it. I'm happy for these guys. Big win for us, and look forward to celebrating with them. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's go. Here we are. AFC South, baby. Colts, Jags. Jags trying to make something happen. For those who said Blake Bortles can't pass the ball, there you are.
Who said that?
Dropping dimes. I think it was my guy Phil right there. We call that loose change. And here we go. Leonard Fournette. What happens when you take a little contact and you score in basketball? We call that an and one. But you got to make the free throw, baby, and it's nothing but
make sure you block out.
Fournette. I like that right there. The Jags, they win 30-10. Blake Bortles 25 for 35, 309, and 2 TDs.
But you know what? You guys are talking about the basketball players. It looked like a basketball celebration in the locker room after the game.
And just remember what I told you guys before, okay? Before we went on the field, all right? There's only one way to gain respect in this league. There's only one way to gain respect in this league. And what have you got to do in December? Win. Oh, my God. What do you got to do in December? Win. Here we go. See you Wednesday, 7:30.
Gets him every time.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You got to win. December, baby.
It is December.
I'll tell you what.
Tell him, Clay.
You know what? That football team's not complaining about the hard training camp they went through now, are they?
Mm-hmm. Elaborate on that. Go ahead. Elaborate.
Well, they complained at how hard they practiced, and they were in pads. They stayed out there a long time, and it was rough and tough, and they thought it was going to wear them out.
Paying dividends now.
Yeah, it's paying out pretty well right now.
No question about it.
If you look at the AFC South, you can see the standings there in the lower left-hand corner. You see Tennessee is still up on top. This is going to come all the way down to Week 17. We all know that. It's going to be at Tennessee. Jacksonville will be there. Ooh. The good news for, I think, Jacksonville today was that Blake Bortles actually looked confident. He actually did some things that quarterbacks have to do in order for their team to win. And when he plays like that, they're going to be very hard to beat. I'm just telling you. Yeah. The reason they lose games is because he goes, 12 for 28 and, for 150 yards, an interception or whatever. But when he plays like he did today, this is going to be a really, really tough team to beat.
Yeah, today I thought was a really good day. They didn't run the ball great, but they put the game in the hands of Blake Bortles. And, of course, they're going against the Indianapolis Colts defense. It's not great, but who cares? The numbers 26 for 35, and this is what's underrated about Blake Bortles. Yeah. He is one big man, and he can run and pick up valuable first downs. But this is something he can do, is throw it deep down the field with nice touch. I think that's probably the best pass that he throws.
And I think if you look at the biggest number to me that stands on there, 0 interception. Yeah. I think in this part right now with this football team, they are dominant on defense. They can run the football. If he can extend plays with his legs and then take the throws that are there and just not turn this football over, this is a very dangerous team. I'll tell you, their defense is special.
Because of where they are and because of what this game was today, this may be his best game ever as a pro. Yeah. This is not garbage time numbers like he would acquire in a couple years ago.
Good point.
These are games now that mean something. And last week he didn't play well against Arizona, but this week those numbers are real numbers.
And as an offense, you guys know being the QB, sometimes it's the numbers that you don't have that give you the most confidence. Leonard Fournette, 20 carries, just 57 yards.
But they ran it 20 times.
That's great, though, because he didn't have that game where you're saying, oh, they won the game because Leonard Fournette went out and put down 150 on the ground. No, they went out there and they leaned on the arm of their quarterback, which they should. Now, imagine if Leonard Fournette adds on a 100-yard game to that. They're tough to beat because that defense is not one of the best in the game. I believe they're the best in the game.
They are right now, and we have an instant update because we have Jared Goff getting on the board right here. He's going to connect with Everett right there for the touchdown. On this extra point, but they do lead 9-0 as they are taking on the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona.
Hey, Coach, let me just coach on a couple of points as well, too. Phil talked about the hard training camp, which you were saying before. A lot of the poor play can show when you don't have that kind of effort in training camp. And Leonard Fournette, when he was benched before, when you said making a point. Nobody's bigger than the team. Look at how it's paying dividends.
I think Doug Marrone has done a really good job, and you can see the Tom Coughlin effect down there. He's holding people accountable for their actions. They had the toughness in training camp, and I'm going to tell you, you don't just turn on toughness. That becomes a part of who you are. Yeah. It becomes a part of how you were trained. And so what you're seeing right now in December, you have that formula and that toughness. You know what? You can impose yourself on teams. And I'm going to tell you, that's how they're playing the game right now.
You got to spar a few rounds before you go in.
I got to tell you, Tennessee.
That's about football. You got to do some sparring before you go play.
And Tennessee has got a little of the same formula. They want to run the football. Delaney Walker pass it. You know, it's not going to be a very pretty game, high-scoring game. That when those two teams meet, it is going to be a physical.
Well, you know he was a boxer in high school, but another instant update coming your way. Go ahead.
Sparring. How about Carolina? How about Jonathan Stewart right here? Boom! Over the top right there. 7-7. These two teams are getting after each other. They got two great quarterbacks. I'm telling you, the NFC South is going to be crazy. And by the way, if you are a New York Giant fan, I know they're playing right now with the Oakland Raiders, but a good thing happened for you today. If you continue to lose, you'll have the #2 overall draft pick because San Francisco.
Oh, don't say that. There's nothing good about it. Nothing good comes out of losing.
It was in high school. You know, I had 5 brothers.
Oh, you fought your brothers.
And a few other people.
And where were you at? How did you stack up in there?
I was in the middle.
Of course you were.
You're so sorry.
You can just
the State Farm post-game show will continue.
Why did you bring that up?
Well, you said you were a boxer. I was trying to give you credit. We'll discuss that after this.
Yes. Here's a heavyweight.
A reminder, join us on Saturday for the 118th Army-Navy game presented by USAA. For the first time in 21 years, Army looking to capture the Commander-in-Chief's trophy if they can once again beat Navy. Coverage begins with State Farm College football today. That'll come your way at 2:30 Eastern right here on CBS. Back to the highlights.
Baby, go Army. How about Case Keenum, Phil? You think he should start next week?
I just did. He is. He gets to start again.
25 and 30, 227 yards, 2 touchdown passes, no turnovers, and of course, they have a defense that travels, don't they, boys?
Oh, yeah.
They got all over the Atlanta Falcons. They win 14-9. They are 10-2, clearly in control of the NFC North. The Falcons now fall to 7-5. Minnesota at Carolina next week. The Falcons host the Saints.
We've never seen rumors like that with Matt Ryan. How about this? Matthew Stafford late in this game, you're going to see in the fourth quarter. He throws high, gets picked off by Marlon Humphrey. The defense had 3 takeaways on the day, but the bad news comes on the follow-up. After Marlon Humphrey brings this ball back, you're going to see Matthew Stafford is going to get this hit right here. Boom. Hurts his hand. And you can see right there he was taken off the field. You can see it wrapped right there. I'm not sure what his status is for next week. And Jake Ruddick comes in and doesn't have much better luck. He's intercepted by Eric Weddle.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco on the day, though, had 2 touchdown passes. Mike Wallace over 100 yards receiving in a 44-20 big win right there. You can see for the Baltimore Ravens as they stay in the hunt for that wild card spot.
Well, here we go. Tampa Bay at Green Bay. The Bucs, Jameis Winston gets pressure from the defense, loses handle of the football, and look what happens. What? It ends up in the hands of who? Dean Lowry, second-year guy from Northwestern. And counting down, Coach, what's he going to do?
It's the Lambeau leap. Phil, does he have enough momentum?
Oh, he does. That's why you wear underpants right there. Man. But here we go. In overtime, Packers, Aaron Jones, his only run of the day, gets the traffic, goes to the other side of the field, 20-yard game-winning touchdown in style. How about that? Green Bay finds the way to win a game, 26-20.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad he had some Duluth trading underwear on.
Can I break this down? I really love this Lambeau leap. Watch this. Well, okay, we have this. It's a 60-yard dash.
Right.
It's going to go, and you can see the speed building.
Okay.
Building.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, but
I know what? I see the wall.
No, he slows up.
No, I can do this. How tall is that wall?
Right here.
It's 6 foot 2 inches. I can do this.
Nate, look at him. Nate, look at him.
I think it was
his triceps give way.
He got to 6 foot. He couldn't get those last 2 inches. I'm telling you, the last 2 inches he could have had.
He got him some credit.
And it's 6 foot.
He's similar.
He even said it was almost those last.
I respect the effort.
2 inches, man.
Yeah, he's
That's 296 pounds.
I ain't mad at him.
6'6", 300.
All right,
to get that thing up there is hard.
important. You know why that's big? You know why that's big? They get the 6-6. They go to Cleveland next week. And they get the 7-6. Aaron Rodgers will be back for the last.
Could Boomer do the Lambeau lead?
The State Farm postgame show continues. Nate, that was excellent.
Soul Train dance line.
Tonight on CBS begins with 50 years of 60 Minutes, the most memorable moments. That'll be followed by the Carol Burnett Show, 50th anniversary special, that is, plus NCIS Los Angeles. That's all tonight, right here on CBS.
Listen, I know you guys is old school, but I'm loving them celebrations. Come on now.
You know what? I'll say this. Honestly, I'll say this. I am old school, but you know what? If the NFL got something right, they got it right this year because of all the scrutiny we've had on the field, to see the players having fun playing football.
Agreed.
It resonates with all of us.
Yeah.
Hey, and the kid was trusting Dad not to drop him, right?
That's right. I hope so.
All right,
I got good
hey,
hands.
let's get an injury update from our NFL Today insider, Jason La Canfora, who's in the newsroom. Hello, Jason.
JB, it was a big day for the Ravens secondary, as we saw, but it came at a cost. Jimmy Smith, their top corner, out for the season with an Achilles injury that could cast the beginning of next season in doubt for him. The Pittsburgh Steelers won't make an official decision on Antonio Brown's status until tomorrow, but I'm hearing it looks good for him to go. They don't think they'll be able to hold him off the field if they try, JB.
Jason, thank you so very much. You know what, we read about Phil saying he was trying to get adjusted to the time. We've got 50 seconds. Why don't we start with you with closing comments on the
I'm glad to hear that. Well, so many things. The Minnesota offensive line, we got to give them credit. That's one of the big reasons why they are where they are record-wise, and Case Keenum is playing so well.
Wow.
You know,
it's good.
I give a lot of credit right now. They're just talking about the New York Jets, and you're watching this game today and where Kansas City's at, and Josh McCown, what he's done in turning around the whole demeanor of this New York Jets team is a credit to him and to the Jets for playing the way they have.
Yeah, regardless of what we may have thought about quarterback Blake Bortles, he's reinventing himself right now.
Good for him.
Yeah, I'll tell you what a great day thus far, right? What a lot of changes.
Yeah.
And you know what? Losing by the Atlanta Falcons really does help.
Oh, yeah.
Green Bay in a big way. And
hey, my hat still goes off to Dean Lowry. See you next week.
There you go.
Yes.